Welcome to the Analytical Rewired. I am your host, Jennifer White, CEO of the MJW Group. And today we have a very, very special guest with us, Kisha Smith. How are you?
I am great. How about yourself?
I'm doing great myself. So I'm just beyond joy with having Kisha on the podcast here today because she and I are very good friends. We go back now, I think 4 or 5 years, but who's counting?
Right.
And she is amazing in the world of financial services, not only services, but also financial literacy. So I really want you all to pay attention on some of the topics we're going to unpack today and learn some nuggets that you don't already know. And I'm sure Kisha will be dropping some bars as she always does, because I have learned a lot from her, specifically on business credit. And I want us to talk about that just a little hair bit as well, especially if you are a business owner. There are a lot of nuances around building business credit. But yeah, we'll deep dive into that a little later. So Kisha, without any further ado, please give us some background about yourself and what do you do?
Okay, thank you so much for having me on today. I really do appreciate it. My name is Kisha Smith. I am the founder and the owner of KS Audit Inc. Financial Services. We've been in business now for 8 years. The business really started on, everybody wants to know, the backstory, and the financial services is really my life. I didn't grow up as being like, I want to be a finance person when I grow up. That was not my story. But as life began to happen and things in life started to unfold, finances became a big factor in life, and so I just pretty much took the things that I've been through and my experiences, I've learned from them and applied it to business and helping other families, other business owners, other people to be more aware of their finances. So some of the services that we provide is like budget planning, just like Jennifer said, business credit, which is a big thing that we'll talk about a little bit later, personal credit, payroll. And the biggest thing is that I'm a thought coach. And everyone is like, what is that? The thought coaching is the biggest thing, because when people come in and they're like, my finances, they use words like, my finances suck. I don't know about this. I don't know about that. And it's like, well, let's think about what you think about. And they're like, Kisha, what are you talking about? I'm coming here on finances and you're talking about my thoughts. And it's like, no, because the thoughts that you have surrounded by money is what's stalling you to get into the next level in life. And so we dive deep into that first, and then we start to apply the new mindset to your finances, and not just your finances, to your entire life, because it's going to have you to show up differently in life holistically.
And I'm so glad you said that, because it is like the circle of life. I love Lion King, and I'm always Simba, holding up Simba, and I'm just like, everything is a circle of life.
It is.
It definitely is. Like, I did not realize when we started the MJW Group how integrated our personal lives would be with our business life. But it definitely is all together, and everything feeds off of one another. So for me, I think when I first met you, I think it was maybe back in 2018, or maybe, I think it was 2018.
Don't make me think that far back, because I feel like it's been longer than that. So.
Oh, no. We have progressed, okay?
We have.
So when I met Kisha, I was telling her about the things my husband and I was going through at the time by cleaning up our own personal debt. We were buying a house at the time as well. And we had just started the MJW Group. It was less than a year old. And I didn't realize at the time, like, I was building a foundation to where in my business now, I think about finances all the time, but not in the way that I was before. I'm looking at it from an opportunity standpoint, right? And there's always the OPMs, like, other people money. Like,
Yes.
how can I leverage what we've built to grow into more, like more revenue, more sales, what have you, like grow other businesses. So my mind, like Kisha's saying, like to think about it that way, like, what do you think about it? How do you think about it? It has totally shifted
Yes.
From years ago. So you're right.
Yeah, absolutely. The coaching, like I said, it's my baby now. Like, I love all the services, but the coaching, just watching people transform their lives by doing the work and making, having a plan and working the plan, it's life changing.
It
really is.
Wow.
Really is. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So how did you really get interested in finance? How did that come about for you? I know you mentioned it your life story kind of took a little turn here, but what do you think was that seed that was sown in the beginning?
Filing bankruptcy twice, not once, but twice. Yeah.
I did not know that.
In my 20s, because I had no sense of money. I knew how to spend it. Yeah. I knew how to spend it like every 20-year-old. And it's like I did things very, very young. So I bought a house, had some children, had some land, had some cars, all by the time when I was 21. This all happened right when I turned 21. You know what I mean? So so I made a bunch of mistakes, and I don't even like to say they're mistakes. They're just life experiences, because if it wasn't for that, I wouldn't be here right now. So filing the bankruptcy once, again, I didn't get it. So twice, it was just like, wait a minute, hold up. What are you doing here? So life started to change, and it started to happen. I started to get more and more and more into my finances. So I had to really stare some things in the face about my spending habits, what I was saying to myself. And that's a big thing. Like, we say we want all this money and obtain all this wealth, but do we have the knowledge to be able to do that? What are we telling ourselves? Are we telling ourselves like, yeah, you can do this, this is attainable, or we get stuck on the how? How are you going to do this? How are you going to do that? How are you going to do this? So I have a mantra in KKS, which is create, produce, and multiply. What that means is we stay out of the how. Okay, we don't worry about the how. If you stay focused on creating more to get more, not working 10 to 15 jobs. And that's no disrespect to anyone that has more than one job, because I've definitely been there. I've definitely had more than one job at one time. If you go out, you get these jobs, you on job 15 and trying to go get job 16, apparently the money is not your problem. The thoughts, what you're thinking about is the problem. How you approaching it is the problem. It can't be the money, because you're sitting on job number 15, 16 and trying to get another job. So it's not the money. This is why the thoughts play so heavily on our decisions. Just like I said, not just finances, but just everything. This is why the thought coaching first is phenomenal. It's definitely phenomenal. So from there, that's how KKS was molded and structured, by my own financial woes, doing the work in my thoughts, and it allowed me to show up differently. Like, I can take all of this and use it to my advantage, because what does those bankruptcy mean today? Nothing. They're not on my credit. That was decades ago. It means nothing but a testimony to somebody else. Like, and every time when I say that, everybody's mouth drops. They're like, are you serious? And I'm like, yeah, not once, but twice. Like, I have a t-shirt. I filed bankruptcy not once, but twice. It's okay. Don't make your circumstances mean something. If you're going to make it mean something positive. We have numerous of people and business owners that come to us like, yeah, my personal credit isn't the greatest. And it's like, okay, well, let's look at it. And there's so many people, they just don't want to stare the thing in the face. Another thing is we don't want to feel. None of us want to feel. That's the thing. Everybody is so, they're so ready to just skip the process and get to the result. And it's like, no, the process is where we grow. This is where we create, produce, and multiply. So we can't skip that step. That step is very important to grow.
Yes, we love processes around
here. Exactly. I'm talking to the process.
I'm
So
all
yeah,
for it.
I really, really wanted to, um, with those experiences, I really wanted to take that and like, hey, I found my purpose in that season of doing the work. So I knew, and I didn't even know at the time, like you are creating the processes right now because you're doing it yourself. So I would never tell any of my clients, any of my friends or family to do something that I haven't done myself.
Mm-hmm.
And now that I
Mm-hmm.
know that it works for myself, I share it with my clients.
Mm-hmm.
That's the birthing of KKS.
Oh my goodness. I love that story. One, because I heard this same message yesterday. I was on YouTube and I heard Wall Street Trapper. I don't know if you know who he is, but he's in the same space of financial literacy. And he was telling someone this same exact information, he basically was saying he didn't know anybody that had two jobs that was doing better off than they were with one job. Because the second job doesn't fix the issue. Like there's something else going on where you're not thinking through, how did I get myself here in the first place? How can I use this and leverage it to get out and stay out? It's not like it should be a continuation. Like, and yeah, we're not knocking anybody that has, more than one job. I mean, you got to do what you got to do sometimes, but definitely use it to your advantage to, like Kisha is saying, create, produce, and multiply it even more. And I don't think we have enough exposure and education on how to do that. People are just working and working and working and working, and there's no end in sight at all.
Well, yeah, what we really have to do, and I think the way the financial industry is changing, it's like more awareness is out there, but we just have to get people's attention that really want to change. So you know about it, but
Mm-hmm.
that's one of the biggest things that people don't want to talk about is your finances because they feel like they're going to get judged. They feel like they're going to be laughed at. They feel like, oh, I should know better at whatever age and stage that they are. And it's just like, listen, here at KKS, I've pretty much been through it all, so I'm not looking at anybody sideways. As if anything, I'm like, I used to be there, right? I've had bad credit before. I've had
Right.
the bankruptcies before. You know what I mean? So it's just like I want to help you in your mind and your thoughts to address this so we can move forward. That's one of the other things about us is that we coach on every service that we have. We coach you on your personal credit, but we're not a get rich, oh, you pay us X amount of money and we'll take
Mm-hmm.
that. We don't do that. I want to coach you
Right.
so you never have to worry about your personal credit ever again because you'll have the tools to make sure that you never get into a compromising situation that your credit isn't taken care of.
Right.
You know the
Right.
things that you're supposed to know versus how much you're going to pay me to take care of this off. And it's like, that, months or years later that can come right back up there, right? And then you paying somebody else and you paying somebody else. So we have to get out of this, rush mentality and really hover down because we're on the other side of the spectrum of life. We're not in our 20s or 30s anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like it's time for us to get some things together. We want to coach and provide the services for business owners. All business owners, you should have a will. You should have a will. You
Mm-hmm.
want to get your businesses to the next level. You don't want to always be a small business. The things that you say out of your mouth, they have power.
Don't
They
get me
have
started on this.
power,
You know
okay?
you know that's the topic
Yes.
now.
Yes. Some people kill their dreams. They say their dreams and kill their dreams all in one sentence. And it's just like, did you just hear what you said? Like, you
You
just
know
killed your
why?
dream.
That but word. I
Uh-huh.
am this, but I
Mm-hmm.
want to do this, but we got to stop using the but word and allow ourselves to just be, do, have in that order. Because, like you're saying, when you speak these words over yourself and over your life, the universe responds. Whoever you believe in, I say universe, God, whatever you want to say, they hear it and they want us to be where we want to be, but we have to first be there in our mind. Like you can't get there by powering your way through it. And that's what I think you're saying as well. Like I see that a lot, especially, I'm not trying to pick on generations, but the baby boomers, like some of them just, I don't know. I'm having a hard time. And I feel like I'm behind because I see the generation after me, they figured it out. And I'm like, well, what was I doing? Why am I so lost and behind? Like, what happened? So yeah, it's be, do, have in that order. Like you have to, the universe gives you more of who you are. So you can't be saying one thing, but your actions prove something else, right?
Absolutely. So that all comes down to a belief. Do you believe? Just like you said, whoever you believe to, but it's like, but do you believe? You can say something, you can pray something, you can have millions of affirmations every single day. But if you don't believe in it, you're wasting your breath. You're wasting your time. You have to put some belief in it. No matter what, my business is going to be successful. No matter what. No matter what. And then we have to learn how to identify our distractions. Identify those. Because sometimes we think, oh, that's an opportunity, that is a blessing, that is this. And it's like some things come and they are a distraction. That's why you have to be clear on your goals. If you're not clear on your goals, that's just like you going in a car and you going somewhere. If you don't, and especially if it's somewhere that you're not familiar with, if you don't put anything in a GPS to know, okay, this is where I'm going, you're just going to be riding, and you're just going to be wandering, turning left and turning right and backing up and all this other kind of stuff because you have no direction.
Oh my goodness. Just bars.
Yes. So KKS is so much more. So we do corporate and business taxes. That's a whole nother thing, right? So we do these taxes, and my thing is we are an educator. Most people don't even know what the write-offs they have. They don't know what tax benefits they have. They don't know what tax brackets they are. They are paying too much. They're paying too little. They don't know what it means. And because taxes is not attractive to anyone, pretty much.
I like the tax code. I don't know about everybody else.
Because they're not educated. But that is us as human. Anything that looks unattractive to us, we're not going to be interested in it. If someone said, hey, go take we're going to be speaking in Chinese today. And it's like, hold up, wait a minute. I don't speak nor understand Chinese, so I'm not going to be interested in it. And that's sometimes, when people talk about taxes, it's just like, I don't want to deal with it. But as a business owner, you need to know something about it, or it's going to take you under.
You're right. You are right.
That's on the business side and the personal side. There's so many other on your personal side that you can do, but so many people, it's just like, oh, wow. When we're educating them, it's like, nobody told me this. I was just supposed to give them my tax documents. They complete it. I pay them, and then I come back to them next year. And I said, listen, this is rule number one for everybody that is listening. You should not be only seeing your accountant once a year. That is terrible. Okay.
Facts.
That is horrible.
Facts.
That is horrible. A good accountant is going to be having either monthly or quarterly meetings with you to make sure that we're going to make sure your goals are being met, because we're going to set those in January. So whatever the cadence that we set for our business owners, hey, we're holding you accountable. You said that this is some of your goals, because we went over the plan from last year, and you said you want to do things better. How we do it better is we come up with this strategic plan for the forecast. We're doing the forecast, and I need for you to make sure you're doing your part.
Bars.
Yes.
Just I don't know why I think I'm gonna start using this word concept a lot, because I really want people to understand and grasp concepts and not just try to rush to the results. I use the analogy all the time. I see people, even who come to us just to improve their processes, right? And how they work every day. It's always aim, fire, ready.
Yeah.
I'm like, did you set up the play? Can we set up the play first? Let's just think about how we want to set up the play.
Think about what you think about. See, yes,
exactly.
Absolutely.
Kisha, how have you seen the financial services industry shift over the years? So you've been in around it some time. You've probably seen it change with technology. We have so much information nowadays. Like you're saying, like, there's no excuse why you can't ask questions of your accountant or other people that you're working with. So how have you seen it shift throughout the years?
I know technology and like social media wise, you see so many different kinds of memes and videos and TikToks and reels and all that other stuff. And it's helpful, but you really have to be mindful. And I think social media gives you the platform where you can kind of
Yeah.
research a person and their business before you can um, get involved with them. And I
Mm-hmm.
think that process should be very um, tedious because you're talking about someone that's going to be dealing with your finances. So
Right.
finances have changed. More, I think more education is out there now than before. I think it is more people wanting to learn more about it. We just got to get them to the next step where they're actually doing it, not just
Right.
wanting, like, oh, I want to, but it's like, no, just actually doing it. And it takes coaches and companies like KKS to be able to say, we're going to put in the time and the effort to coach you, because coaching is a continuous thing. It's not, oh,
Right.
we're going to set up this 15-minute consultation. I'm going to give you everything you need. Go fly. Just like we were saying, it's a process. So I think
Right.
from before, we just had those accountants and tax preparers, and they do that, and that was it. As of now, I think more people are willing to learn, which is great. We just need to
Mm-hmm.
push it harder, because I know KKS is getting ready to do some monumental things in the financial world. Just stay tuned for that. That is coming really,
Yes.
really soon,
Yes.
and it's really going to change finances in the world. It's not even going to be about, it's going to be the work. It's going to be really, really big, life changing, and we're on that process now, trusting the
Love it.
process, learning through the process, and not trying to prematurely get out of anything and not stay in anything too long either. So all of that will probably make sense once the announcement comes
Yes. I love it. Love it.
out.
Um, what would you say has been the most important lesson you've learned while running, organizing, growing, cultivating KKS?
Do we have that much time, Jennifer? Okay, I'm gonna try to make it simple. I'm gonna try.
Where should I
There's so many
start?
things. I think we just talked about the biggest thing is belief. That's gonna be the biggest thing, is belief and growing. I don't know everything. I don't
Hmm.
claim to know everything. I am a work in progress. And I love the growth in me. So, and I think when new businesses, I see it a lot. When new businesses are formed, they think like they have to know everything, and it's like you don't.
Hmm.
You don't have, and I don't think it's good business practice for you to think that you're going to do the everything, because that's a good way to get burned out, and then your business will be shut down because you're trying to do everything. If
Right.
you are the carpenter, you can't be the accountant, the salesperson, the HR, and I know you have to do what you have to do in the beginning, but
Right.
as business grow, you should be want to delegate, which is the second thing, delegation. I would say also processes. But
Bars.
yes, yeah, processes for sure. And balancing and time management. And the biggest thing, again, one of those ones, make sure you're hearing this, no, using the word no.
No.
And guess what? No means no, and it needs no explanation. Once your target audience starts to change, you're gonna be focused on how to service that target audience, and
Yep.
it's going to have you to everybody is not going to be a good fit for KKS,
Hmm.
and that's okay. That's why we don't have to, hustle and bustle. We don't do that here. We have
Hmm.
things to do. We're going to prioritize, but we got out of the hustle. Like, I got to hustle to do this. No, I create, produce, and multiply. I
That's
don't
right.
hustle. I don't hustle anymore. I don't grind anymore. Like, no, I create. I
Right.
create this. So
Right.
those are just some of the ones that I would say, like some of the biggest things that I've learned and still learning in business as business continue to grow.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I mean, here at the MJW Group, we're all about creation over competition.
Yes.
If you create, you do not have to compete. Like, we advocate for that. We live it and breathe it every single day. And it's hard to get, I usually see it with newer business owners, and I get it, because we, like you're saying, we were in that mode as well. You kind of got to take what's coming your way, and because you're trying to figure your way out. So to the audience that you're trying to get or trying to go after, they see that, they feel it, they see it, and it's not resonating with them. But over time, you find your way, you start to come into your own, and your brand and your reputation and credibility speaks for itself by then. And you can call the shots of who you want to work with.
Exactly.
And like you're saying, no, it's as simple as that. There's no need for an explanation. So I wholeheartedly agree with what you're advocating here. And I love your framework: create, produce, and multiply. Oh my gosh, I love that framework. And I would like a shirt. If you don't have a shirt already. Okay. I need a shirt.
Absolutely. Yes.
All right. So let's go back and talk about business credit just a little bit here, because I have learned so much. The initial time that you spent with me learning about business credit and all of the doors that it could open. So I guess let's just stay high level, right? Because I want you guys to go to Kisha for advice and guidance about business credit. So we're gonna keep it high level.
Yes. Okay. So business credit, for ones that do not know, business credit is strictly based off of your EIN number for your business and not your personal. So what that means is it really doesn't matter what situation your personal is, that you can go ahead and start at least building your business credit. So we have 5 people on the business credit team. And once you sign on with them, you have a whole portal that is dedicated to you, and it helps you like with different tiers, and they will go over the whole tier process with you, where you can start to build your business credit. There's business credit reports, business credit scores that will let you know where you need to be. And it helps you to become lendable. That is the biggest thing. On the business side, there's so many more perks than on the personal side, because you're a business versus your personal.
Right.
Okay. So there are lenders, like credible lenders, that will lend, these high dollars, $70,000, $80,000 plus, funding for your business. And it is amazing. And it's like, KKS does it itself. We talk about trade lines. The higher the trade lines, the better. We go over all of those things in detail. The utilization on the business side is different. Utilization, the more utilization on the business side, the better. You will have offers handing to you to say, listen, what do you need? Because when you can maintain your business credit, that's everything. Because business credit is solely on one thing: you making your payments on time.
I was gonna say this isn't a free for all.
That's
people.
it.
You have
that
to
is it.
Pay
on time. The biggest strategy that we have is whatever net terms that you have, whether it's 15, do it half of that time. If it's 30 days, do it half of that time. Because the analogy that I use is like, Jennifer, if I come to you and say, Jennifer, I need to borrow $200. And you say, yes, Kisha, you can borrow the $200, but the agreement is in 30 days, you got to pay me this money back. Now you're taking a risk on me because you know me, but not to that capacity. So it's like, okay, I'm going to go ahead, and you're knowing that the risk may be that you never maybe see this $200 again. Okay. So this is the analogy that I'm using with the business credit. This is what the vendors are doing. They say, okay, company ABC, I'm going to let you get this money. We're going to put you on that 30 terms. We're going to report it back to the business credit bureaus. Plug, there is a such thing as business credit bureaus. We can go into details about that. So in that time frame, you have the agreement to say you're going to repay it back. Now, Jennifer, if I pay you back that $200 in 15 days, you are not only happy, but the likelihood of me coming back to borrow more money is very likely, because it's like, hey, we agreed upon 30 days. She came back in 15 days.
Right.
Winning. It's a win-win situation. now I have established a relationship with you, a good relationship with you. So now you can report that back to the credit bureaus, right? Same
Right.
scenario. If I don't pay you back, you don't hear anything from me. I don't text you back. I don't call you back. I'm ducking you. 30 days end up being 40 days. Eventually, you're just going to take your loss and you're just going to be like, you know what? Kisha is really now on my bad list. I'm never going to do any kind of business with her, let alone borrow any money from her.
Mhm.
Same scenario on business credit. As long as you're making these payments, and this is the thing, we come up with a strategic way because again, we are working with your thoughts. So when you get people and it's just like, oh yeah, like, listen, you have a budget. I don't want you to go no more than X amount of dollars. So I don't want you to go in here and get 5 accounts and now you owe $5,000 that you got to pay in 30 days.
Mhm.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
These are the kinds of things that differentiates us from everybody else. Everybody
Right.
else is going to give you, oh yeah, you go do this and do that. We're pretty much going to hold your hand. That's why you have a dedicated business analyst to like, hey, this is what we're going to do and this is why we're going to do it, to get you familiar with money management skills.
Mhm.
This is the perks to having business credit. So you can go and purchase things in your business name versus your name. So then that way you can be one person, you can be a business owner and be your personal person and still have two different sets of credit, which is awesome. That's the money game.
Right.
People, cash is not king anymore. Plug, cash is not king anymore.
Bars. OPM is.
OPM
And I'm
is.
down with OPM
Yeah.
and OPP.
Yes. Yes.
Oh goodness. So when would be a good time? So if someone is listening, I'm just gonna say another business owner is listening here today to you speak, and they're like, well, I kind of know some of the things Kisha is mentioning, but I'm not for sure. And I'm a little afraid to reach out because I don't want to seem like I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm not familiar with this terminology and things like that. So what would you say is a good time for people to reach out to KKS?
When they are sick and tired of being sick and tired of being confused and being in the same place over and over and over
Mhm.
again. Because you're going to be, my thing is, you're not stuck, you're shifting. You just don't realize that you're shifting because it's like, I want to go, but I want to go. Those are the kinds of times where it's just like, I need to go ahead and stop fear and move
Right.
forward. Business is risky, but it's the best kind of risk because you learn so much.
You do.
Life is a risk.
It is.
But yeah, so I would definitely say if you're, and a person knows like when they're ready to take the step forward. If you're not ready to take the step forward, you got to do some more processing within yourself. That's fine. I would say when you're ready to take the step forward and have the conversation, and once you have the conversation in the 15-minute time slot that we allow, it's going to be life changing.
Mm-hmm.
You
Yes,
know when you're ready to take the next step, and when we start to talk, you're not going to feel those anxieties no more. You're not going to have those fears anymore, because I'm never going to chastise somebody about, oh, what is that terminology, or what. We're going to get into those thoughts. So that's why I said it's going to be life changing in 15
right.
minutes. I guarantee you that.
Awesome.
Guarantee you that.
What do you say are 1 to 2 things you've had to totally rewire your brain around? So think about the creative side of your brain and the technical side or the logical side of your brain. What have you had to rewire when it comes to your business and running KKS?
To get out of my own way. I had to get out of my own way, like in the thought transformation. So I coach and I get coached. Again, anything that I deliver out, I'm getting it for myself. I would never tell somebody else something that I'm not doing myself.
Facts.
So I get coached. So therefore, I have to be refueled so I can fuel someone else. So they can fuel someone else. So I had to get out of my own way because it's not about me. This is not about me. It's about others. It's about me helping others in finances and through their thoughts. That's what the purpose is. This is how I had to rewire everything and how I do it. If it was just me, Kisha Smith, I wouldn't be doing that. But because I have like submitted to the process and my purpose, I have to move forward in my purpose. So it's not about me. So that's the biggest rewire, because I have done some transformation over the past like 2 or 3 years, and it has been mind blowing. I'm showing up differently. You know what I mean? I'm knowing my worth more. All of these things, this is what helps me to create, produce, and multiply, whatever it is, whether it's money, whether it's relationships, whether it's networking, it's anything. Create, produce, and multiply. That's it. When I really sit down and produce and have these, and I have what we call in these containers, all of the services that we provide, and it's like, yeah, this is how we're going to make this kind of revenue. And we work it from there. So there is no 15, 16 jobs. Like, no, we're going to sit down and we're going to create, produce, and multiply. That is the biggest rewire, is to do the work and submitting to myself.
Do you think that's a challenge a lot of people have? Because I understand what you're saying, because I had to do that same transformation. Like around the time when I met you years ago, I told myself, I'm going to start showing up on time to places. Just something as simple as that. If the event is at 2 o'clock, I need to show up at 1:58, 1:59. Because remember in that one movie, I forget what movie, I think it was Major Payne, or maybe it was Drumline, where Dr. Lee was like, you're late if you're on time, or something he used to say.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Oh, I know exactly what you're talking about, Jennifer.
And I know, and I started realizing when I started showing up on time, I wasn't flustered. I could relax a little bit. I can clear my thoughts. I had headspace to not, worry about running here or there. And, oh my God, is there going to be parking, or am I going to have a seat? Like when you show up on time, it allows you to just relax a little bit. Like you can be present in that moment. So I definitely understand what you're saying. Like little things as simple as that is like, it allows you to show up differently. Having certain applications that we use in our business, a lot of clients come to us for different system type of implementations. And so we get asked the question all the time, how did you choose what system to utilize in your business? And for us, our framework is PPDT, people, processes, data, and technology, in that order. And so I thought about the other 3 steps before I even went to the technology. Plus we pay for the technology.
Right.
And that's another thing, like people want to get things for free all the time, and free doesn't allow you to show up. Yet again, just something as simple as that. Like you have to change your mindset. And like you said, like we can't have free. We can't say one thing, but then our actions doesn't prove the other thing. I want to be the best business in the world. I'm going to have $1 million year this year. Free is not going to get you there.
Exactly.
And
it's an investment in yourself, because those are the things like, okay, when you want to go and buy these luxury things, and there's nothing wrong with that, but in that same sentence, you would drop $20, $30, $300 on a meal, and it's like, hey, come and get this coaching. It's equivalent to the same thing. Oh, that's too much. And it's like, huh? You have to be intentional about this work, or it's not going to work. You have to be at a place where it's just like, listen, this isn't it. I have to do something different to get results. The biggest thing is I have to be uncomfortable. That means being uncomfortable of doing something that you've never thought in a million years that you're going to do, but you're doing it, and you're doing it anyway. And this is another one of the things that we do, is celebrating our wins. Celebrating our wins. And people thinking, oh, like anything. Today is Thursday. My trash comes out. I have the hardest time every single week getting my trash from the backyard to the front yard. And every single time when I do that and I do it on time, that's a win for me. Yes. It's the small things that are so big because we take advantage of them. Yes. I got up this morning. I'm able to blink my eyes. I'm able to raise my hands. Yes. These are the things that we take for granted. But it's like, no, you're winning. I had 10 things to do on my list today, but you did 5. You're winning. You see what I'm
Yeah.
saying? We're so prone to the negative all the time that we don't celebrate the positive.
Yeah.
And
I
that's when we have to, these default thoughts, we got to kill them. We got to get them out of our brain. That is what's holding us up.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Just, oh my gosh. Just bars, bars upon bars. And that's why I created this podcast. Like that is what the Analytical Rewired is all about, because I am so left brain. Since being in business, I had to learn how to turn on the right brain,
Yes.
because everything is just logic to me. I think in numbers, I think in code and zeros and ones. And I'm just like, how can I see color? Because to me, I'm just like, it's either this or it's that. It's yes or it's no. There's always a if. There's no if then statement. It's either this or it's that.
Right.
So I'm glad you talked about getting uncomfortable, right? And I think that goes back to, and I know we've touched on this a little bit, and some people don't want to hear this because they call it woo-woo, but I'm telling you, your spiritual, your mental, and the physical, it's all integrated. There's no way to escape it. And the uncomfortableness is you having faith that what you projected out in 2025, 2030, hopefully we'll make it there to see those years.
Right.
What you projected there is going to work. What's happening for us today in 2022, I probably put in motion in 2015, 2016, I don't know. Yes. We don't know the dawn of the hour or the minute of when our seeds are going to sprout. But you have to create, like Kisha is saying, if you constantly focus on that first step of creating, to me, I think of it like there's so many doors you can go through.
Yes.
You got to plant that seed first. And then every day, like you say, every day you get up, oh my gosh, like I got the trash out today. That's a good win. So that win opens up another door. Who knows? Somebody could be riding down the street and they accidentally dropped the $100 bill. Exactly. And you're like, sir, and they just keep driving. It's like, oh well, guess I'll keep that $100 bill today.
Yes. It's all in the perspective. That is what all this work is for. It's all in the perspective. And just like you said, as you can see, as we've been talking about not only finances, but in your whole life, it's going to have you to show up differently every aspect of your life. Mm-hmm. And it's deep rooted in the thoughts. Just like you say, you manifest in things. And it's just like, yeah, I strongly believe, like, go to the done place. We don't have to say, I'll be glad when I can make more money. No, create that now. You don't have to wait until then. Why? Then it's not even promised. Right now, it's barely promised. Go to the already done place. Create that now so you can have a motivation and a foundation to stand on. Like, yeah, I'm going to go to the already done place now because I got this creation.
Right.
And I'm not going to sit on it.
Oh my God. And we are like so over time, but I'm just like,
this has been great. Yeah.
And I'll just last thing here. You're exactly right. Do it now, because I thought about, and I probably have a video or post somewhere I was writing in 2020. And I was like, now is the time to shift, transform, whatever you want to do. Because when we come out on the other side of COVID, I don't know, I was just seeing it. I was like, there's like the gap is becoming more and more. There's like more disparity happening, but I'm like, there's no excuse. It was like literally, we had 2 years of a reset. Learn a new skill, get your finances in order, pay off that debt, buy a house. All of those things are so hard to do right now. Just think about it. Just 2 years fast forward.
And the thing about that is, Jennifer, people were so stuck into their own mindset and thought of, why we got to stay in the house? What is this for? Oh my God. And not looking at the opportunities, just like you said, it's just like you so focused on that you miss all these opportunities that you could have got your finances in order. You could have bought that house. You could have refinanced. You could have done all those things. But you're so on the negative and don't want to do the work. Mm-hmm. This is why it's so important to be clear on what it is that you want to do. You got to be clear on what it is that you want to do. True. How can you move forward if you're not clear on what it is that you want to do?
Yeah.
This is great. This is great.
I'm heated.
Got Jill fan on the step.
I am heated. Kisha, is there anything you want to share with the audience? It could be a freebie or a way to reach out to you for that 15-minute consultation.
Absolutely. Go to kksfinancial.com. Go ahead and set up your free 15-minute consultation with me. If you use Jennifer White's name, yes, you have to use Jennifer White's name. So you can go ahead and get your free consultation with KKS, so we can talk about anything. We can talk about thoughts. We can talk about taxes. We can talk about notary. We can talk about business credit. We can talk about whatever it is that you want to talk about in that time, and it won't cost you a thing. And the plug is free. It's free.
This is free.
This is free. You know what I mean? All the other things like this is free. Take advantage of it. You have the scheduler there. Make sure you schedule a time that works for you, is there for you. Go to the website. Again, it is kksfinancial.com. Click on contact us. Go ahead and schedule your appointment. Use Jennifer White's name, and we'll go ahead and get you started. I am so grateful to you, Jen, for having me on. This is going to be the first of many.
Yes, we got to do this again.
Absolutely.
There's too much to talk about. Oh my gosh. Yeah. I'll make sure to include the website to Kisha's site in the show notes for you all. Kisha, how else can people reach out to you? Where can they find you?
We are on Facebook, we are on Instagram, and we are on LinkedIn. So our handle is going to be KKS Audit Financial, and on Facebook and Instagram, and on LinkedIn, it is KKS Financial. Please follow us, like us. We're revamping. We're doing some new things. We're putting more coaching content out there. This month is Mental Awareness Month, and we definitely support that. We support that all year, every year, but we definitely want to hone into that since May is Mental Health Awareness. So yeah, please follow us on your social media sites. Thank you so much. Everybody, believe in yourself.
Thank you, Kisha. I really appreciate it. Make sure you guys check out those channels that Kisha noted. I'll also make sure to put them in the show notes as well. And while you're on her site, sign up for their newsletter, because I do get it and I read it. It is a very great newsletter that they are distributing out through email. So once again, Kisha, thank you so much for your time today. You definitely dropped nuggets, gems, fairy dust, I don't know, pennies, nickels, quarters. You dropped a lot, and like I said, I always learn from Kisha every time we get together. This is our conversation. I kid you not.
Yes, it
every
is.
single time. We're constantly thinking about the future and what can we do better and what can we do differently. We're continuously improving our life and our business every time we have a conversation. So once again, thank you so much, Kisha. I truly enjoyed it today.
Thank you so much.
All right, we'll see you all next time on the Analytical Rewired. Have a good one.